especially in the midfield area, we've got quite a lot coming back now, and we're okay in that area of the field. You know, we have been short in the defence, but these guys started to train now. Yunus Kabul, Jan Vertonghen, so it will be very soon. They'll be back in contention.
People have been suggesting that you might be prepared to sort of streamline the squad. I mean, if there are players perhaps on the verge of going, are you prepared to see people go?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I think that as long as they're the right players and the ones I don't want to take us forward, then I'm happy. You know, you can only go with a certain amount of players, and obviously the pressure's on because it's a World Cup year. You know, for a lot of these players, it's important that they play. We can't guarantee that they're going to get a maximum game time, but we certainly won't be leaving ourselves short. And if no one left, I wouldn't be shedding any tears over that either.
So you say you wouldn't want to see anyone go. You might have identified the ones that you do want. Have you outlined those players to Baldini and said, look, I'll be prepared to let this one go?
Yeah. We've had discussions, yeah, but these it's almost a case of sometimes supply and demand, you know, and especially with some of the guys who I'm still getting used to and getting to know. I've got a certain amount of trust in other players before some others, but the longer I'm with them on the training field, the more I'm getting to know and the more I'm getting attached to some of the new players as well. So. We've got fantastic players here at the club, and as I say, if we was to lose no one, I wouldn't shed any tears. But we have to understand that there is pressures from this end of season's World Cup that the players want to play. But my priority is obviously to keep us as strong and competitive as possible, and I won't be making any decisions based on any national team. He's a new player, so he's obviously one that I've read a lot of speculation about, but all I can say on regard to Etienne Capoue is that he's never caused me a minute problem here. We've had a good relationship. He realises that I use Nabil Bentaleb in front of him, and not only him and Lewis Holtby and a few other players in the midfield area, because I knew the young boy and I trusted that him. Etienne has played, he played at Old Trafford, and he's been asked to play in reserve games to keep up his fitness along with other players, and they've done that and never caused me a minute's problem. So it's not been an issue between us. It's just the fact is I'm still getting to know some of these new players, and I know the other ones better.
Has he indicated that he'd like a move?
He's never mentioned it to me, no.
Lewis Holtby is another one that again has been heavily mentioned that could be on his way to Schalke as well. Is he in your plans, but is he also perhaps one of those that if you are going to streamline, you might be prepared?
Why they're at the football club, they're all in my plans, yeah, and I will plan to win a game. And if I think Lewis Holtby or Etienne Capoue or Nasser Chadli or whoever it may be, or Michael Dawson, if they can benefit me with the team where we're playing up next, then I will use them.
I've seen it written that having let Lewis Holtby go to Schalke might open the door for Draxler to go to Arsenal. What other transfers might transpire influence any decisions that are made here?
I don't know. I think I'm just looking after myself. You know, I don't look at what Arsenal have got to do. You know, we've got enough things to worry about here. So, certainly haven't got my eye on what Arsenal are trying to do in the transfer market.
Jermaine Defoe is one who has gone. Does that mean that he's perhaps in the market for a striker, bearing in mind that he hasn't played much in the Premier League, but he does contribute goals?
Yeah, he always scored goals, especially he scored fantastic goals in the Premier League. No, we're not looking for a striker. I've said a couple of weeks ago or last week when it was announced that Jermaine would leave, that we've got enough attacking options here, and players who can score goals, and it's their opportunity to move forward.
I've talked a lot about potentially players going out. Is there activity in terms of bringing players in? Have you identified players you'd like to bring in?
No.
Do you envisage anything this window?
Not at the moment, no. And the only, it looks to me like this week we've had 4 or 5 new signings, because it's been the first time I've seen 4 or 5 of them on the training field. So I don't think a lot of clubs have spent the money what we spent and brought in 7 players over the summer. So it's very difficult to find the quality in January which is going to strengthen you. not to say that if we had an epidemic between now and the end of the window, then we could look. But we're just generally looking, but we're not actively trying to sign anyone.
It's your first window as a manager. What have you made of it? Is it a pressured experience? Is it something you've enjoyed or something you could do?
Nah, I'm cool with it. You know, I'm happy with the squad we got. I just want to work with the players who I've got here. I do realise that it takes an awful lot of time sometimes. Some players hit the ground running straight away. It takes time for players to settle, so we're seeing that with some of the new boys. And to bring in another player now, would he be settled by the end of the season? You might get lucky with one or two, but the risk over reward might be too great for us.